Namaskar. You are tuned into VRIGHT Exchange's flagship series, Discovery of Quality Companies and Emerging Vision, where we spotlight forward thinking organizations across four distinct categories: premier leaders, emerging champions, discovery zone innovators, and unlisted visionary enterprises. I am Rana Aryan Prem, founder of VRIGHT Exchange, India's own and the world's first structured, verified investor engagement and leadership dialogue platform. Our mission is simple: to deliver structured insights without noise, helping investors discover credible growth stories grounded in fundamentals, leadership vision, and long term value creation. Today, under our company Executive Circle Vision to Value Leadership Series, we are delighted to host a pioneering force in India's refrigeration and cold chain ecosystem. It's my pleasure to welcome Mr. M. Srinivas Reddy, Chief Executive Officer, Ice Make Refrigeration Ltd, joining us ahead of Union Budget 2026 for a thoughtful leadership conversation. Very warm welcome, Mr. Reddy.
Thank you, Mr. Rana, for having me on your show. Greetings to all your viewers on the platform.
Let's begin, sir. In today's leadership dialogue, we have curated nine focused questions to understand your journey, strategic priorities, and perspective on the refrigeration and cold chain ecosystem, followed by a short rapid fire round at the end to capture your leadership lens. And we look forward to an insightful and engaging conversation. Here is the first question. Mr. Reddy, you joined IceMake in November 2025. What were the first two or three priorities you focused on in your initial months?
Thank you. I'm excited to be part of IceMake family. As investors are aware that IceMake has been about 32 years old company, designs, manufactures, sells, installs and services the end-to-end refrigeration product and solutions for the most of the consumption markets in India. Um, So frankly, after joining the company, I not set out any priorities per se, but it was extremely important for me to do a listening and discovery tour across the company. It was also equally important to engage with all the stakeholders across the company. So my journey began with understanding the customers' requirements, interacting with the customers and dealers, to get to know firsthand what the customers feel about the brand, what the customers perceive about the products and solutions, and how do they rate our surveys. So that was a critical insight that I wanted to get on. Of course, the next important interaction that I've been having is with the employees. So that gave me an opportunity to understand the employees' aspirations, culture, their commitment levels to the company, and the skills that we require for the future, so on and so forth. And I've also meeting a few of the vendors, and I've been also trying to understand the internal processes and systems with a view to get a sense of how systems are efficiently placed to be able to respond to the market. So that said, whenever I interact with any of these stakeholders, I've kept two things in mind. One important thing was to understand what are the core strengths of the company, which has brought the company to this far, and whether we can leverage the same strengths for the future growth, for the next leg of growth for the company. Second question that I wanted to always answer was, are we future ready? How well we can be ready for the future is the second question that I've been trying to answer myself during my interaction. So first 3 months roughly, it's been an exciting journey, understanding the perspectives related to the markets, related to the people, related to the company. So it's been pretty good.
That's a classic first 100 days mindset. Listening first, then sharpening focus. Investors often underestimate how much clarity comes from simply asking the right questions early on. Thank you so much, Mr. Reddy. My second question to you is what aspects of the business stood out as strong foundations and where did you see immediate scope for Mr. Reddy?
Yeah, Mr. Ranas, were quite a few insights I've been able to get hands on. So you asked about the key strengths of the company. I think the first thing that I could really rate well is the promoter's passion. I'm extremely amazed to see how the promoters' passion and they've built up this company over the last 32 years. I'm really excited to see the spirit of entrepreneurship that I've delivered to this company in the last 32 years. Second important strength that I would rate is the strong manufacturing strength the company has got. Company has five manufacturing uh, plants in the country, three in Gujarat, one in Chennai, which is upcoming, and another one in Kolkata. In fact, the strength of this company, especially, is much better than I would rate than the competitors that this business has. Third important strength, I would clearly put it, is the market reputation for the company. This company is not new to the market, so it has a strong reputation in the market. Fourth important strength is the wide and diverse product range that the company has developed so far. Just to give you a sense of one product which really stands out in my first 45, 60 days of interaction with the customers and the markets is a product called freezer dryer, heat pump dryer that company has been able to innovate and launch in the market. This company is actually an import substitute product, which can offer really good value to the customers in the food processed segment. So I'm saying this is one of the examples that I'm relating to how company has built up strengths over a period of time. As regards the initial improvements, of course, we would be clearly working on the market reach and expansion by expanding our channel network. Second area that we will focus on improving the brand visibility for the company. And third is, of course, we have begun work in aligning the internal functions to be customer faced. That's something that we've kickstarted already. And we are also going to reorient the service because this business of ours is highly service led, service centric. So service becomes paramount for the customer satisfaction. So we're going to reorient the service as well going forward.
Absolutely. So that balance between respect for legacy and readiness to improve is what differentiates operators from caretakers. Thank you, Mr. Reddy. So the next question I have is how do you approach continuity versus change when stepping into a listed manufacturing company with an existing legacy?
This is a great question, actually. So I have to answer this question from the context of the business that we are in and aspiration that we have set out for the future. Um, I would see the market opportunity is going to be very exciting. So are the challenges for the future markets as well. So that said, what got us here is not going to get us far in the next future. So thereby, there are a few fundamentals which would be continuing, the few areas which will definitely have to go through our transformation journey. The things that we would like to continue for sure are our strong foundations, which I would rate as the spirit of entrepreneurship, the promoter's passion that we will definitely have to have a continuum in this aspect. Second is the values and belief systems. That's very important and foundation for the company, so that we will definitely have to continue the values and belief system that we have in the company set out so far. Third important is the governance of the company. So this is three fundamental, I would say, strong pillars of the company. We would definitely would like to continue in the next leg of growth. In terms of the change, we are looking at transforming ourselves for the future readiness. One, of course, we will be injecting the growth mindset with a view to bring that agility and the resilience into the company to be able to be ready for the future. Second thing is we will also be spending some effort in making digitally enabled systems and processes to be able to react to the customer requirements faster and faster. Third most important thing, we'll also be spending time on the core aspect of the innovation to be able to bring out the products which are innovative in nature. Fourth is we will also spend good amount of time and investments in building competencies. When I say competencies and capabilities, one important capability and competence that we want to develop is a human resource capital. We need to definitely develop the leadership and the managerial pipeline, which will take this company far into the future. And fourth important change that we will bring in is we will want to make the customer centric organization going forward. So these are the few transformation areas that we will touch base while continuing the fundamentals and value systems and belief systems of the company.
That's very well put, Mr. Reddy. Change sticks best when it feels evolutionary, not disruptive for the sake of optics. So, my next question is now, have there been any early strategic or operational shifts since your appointment that investors should be mindful of?
Yeah, so this is too early to make any strategic shifts per se. But that said, it's very extremely important for us to remain focused on the core refrigeration because our business is into the core refrigeration. We will continue to be refrigeration player, but we will be looking at the opportunities for growth with the product extension going forward, with also looking at the adjacent opportunities within the commercial and industrial refrigeration space. So, strategy-wise, the core remains the mantra. So we will not deviate from the refrigeration per se. That core remains. But in terms of the operational shifts, as I said, we will be changing the gears for better. There are two new business lines that we company has launched a year ago, which is that chest freezers, which is the product category, which is the plug and play product. Second is the continuous panels. So these two lines, we will be definitely changing gears to accelerate growth in these areas. So that said, from the investor standpoint, we would be keen to deliver that profitable growth sustainably by sticking to the core.
Those are the kind of quiet behind the scenes decisions that usually show up in numbers before they show up in headlines. So that's very nicely put, Mr. Reddy. So the another question that I have is how are you aligning IceMake strategy to medium-term demand in industrial refrigeration and cold chain infrastructure?
This is very important question. So let me answer this in a slightly different way. All our businesses are linked to consumption. Indian economy is now rather has been growing on the back of the strong consumption, as we all know. So obviously, the next decade is going to be the decade for the refrigeration businesses because our consumption is going to grow significantly. Most of the market segment that we are operating today will grow significantly in the next 10 years' time. So our vision is to touch the every walk of life with our products and solutions. Our strategy will be to become the dominant player in every market segment that we operate in the commercial and industrial refrigeration segment. We will either be number one or number two in the next 3 to 5 years time. That's the mission that we are going to set it out for. On the customer delivery and customer satisfaction side, we want to be the most admired company. That's an important pillar because, as I said, this business is strongly linked to customer service. So we want to become the most admired company. So just to put it in a nutshell, we will be the full-fledged, full bouquet refrigeration products and solution company catering to the every value chain of market segment that we operate with. Just to give you an example, in a dairy, we will have a products and we have the products and solutions which go into the harvesting stage at the milk collection stage. Then we have products which collect which take the milk, collected milk to the chilling centers and the processing centers. We have solutions which go into refrigeration plants related to the dairy plants and chilling centers. From there onwards, we have equipments and solutions to take that processed milk and processed dairy products to the market, to the last mile distribution. Now, of course, in the last 1 year, we've launched the products which can even take care of the last mile, the storage points at the convenience stores and the mom and pop stores. So, in a way, just to put it very clearly, that we have our products and solutions which go into every touch point of the value chain of any consumption segment. So, I've just given you a dairy example, but we would like to replicate this in every segment that we operate in.
All right, sir. So, okay, so that long-term demand visibility is exactly what institutional investors look for, not just growth, but repeatable growth. So, my next question is, what execution challenges typically get underestimated when scaling a manufacturing-led business, Mr. Reddy?
Yeah, so this is, I would say, it is a generic question, not just related to IceMake per se, but I think in India, this question is more relevant for the manufacturing organizations. Usually, the manufacturing led organization will face three challenges. The first challenge is the time to market, right from the product conceptualization, design to the launch time. So, usually, these are the challenges that get underestimated. The second thing is getting the first time right product in terms of the getting the quality product first time right to meet the customer expectations is another challenge. But over and above, the biggest challenge that I would see is the manpower, skills, and competencies to be able to manage the refrigeration space. So, so there is a lot of training interventions that require. So, India, of course, in every segment that we have, many of the manufacturing companies face the challenges related to the skills of the talent that we have. So there's a lot of footwork that we need to do. Fourth important challenge I would say is that the flexibility in the processes and designs, usually when the customer expectation change. So that's the one of the key challenges of the manufacturing that I would say, but this is most generic. But it applies to manufacturing organizations in the country, and it's true for IceMake as well.
Very well said. Execution is really about ambition. It is about consistency. And that's where real leadership shows up. Thank you, Ms. Reddy, for that. Clearly defining the path. All right. So my next question is on union budget that is going to be presented on Sunday, 1st of February. So from a CEO's perspective, what expectations do you have from Union Budget 2026 for manufacturing, cold chain, or infrastructure-linked sectors?
Well, it is too late to set in expectations, of course, but nonetheless, I would like to answer this slightly elaboratively. Um, Indian economy is based on the agriculture. We are called an agrarian economy. I think country has made huge investments, huge progress over the decades to become this self-sufficient in agriculture. Today, we have reached a position where India is the number one producer of a milk, number two producer of a fruits and vegetables, and the largest producer of a meat, and then many accolades like this. So, but that said, the biggest challenge we have is the wastage across the value chain to the tune of about 30 to 40%, converting that into billions of our dollars wastage across the value chain. So the key point is how to arrest the wastages across the value chain. Refrigeration is the only solution with which we can arrest the food wastage across the value chain. But important factor is that India adoption level of refrigeration is sub 10% today as compared to the Western peers. Even of our neighboring countries like Philippines and Indonesia, Thailand, the adoption levels is close to about 60, 70%. So we are certainly lagging behind. So what is critical here is the government intervention required to push this adoption level higher and higher so that we reduce this wastage. Even if you are able to reduce the wastage by about 10%, it means a lot of a good contribution to the GDP overall. So that's the grand essay of the space that we are in. In fact, our products and solutions go into assuring the food security for the country. That's the fine. While the specific ask related to the budget expectation is today our most of products and solutions are taxed at 18%. 18%. So the ask is to why not we put that tax slabs at a lower percentage. It is not that it is going to change the demand. It's not going to create an incremental demand, but at least the total cost of ownership of a product comes down for the user. So that way, I think it will be an enabler for the what I would say the adoption of the refrigeration. So more and more people will adopt it. Second is agriculture and horticulture as as a sector. It is yet to get the industrial status. The challenge here is anyone putting up a cold chain investment to the banks, it won't go through that easily because it doesn't have the industry status. So credit flow is extremely important into this sector. So second important ask is about the industry status to be accorded to the agriculture and horticulture sector. And of course, third is the PLI for the manufacturing in the refrigeration. Currently, PLI is allowed only for the air conditioning and its component sector. But I think government may as well think about PLI for the refrigeration manufacturing sectors as well.
Absolutely, Mr. Reddy. Finance Minister Mrs. Uh, Nirmala Sitharamanji must have already considered as to what they're going to be presenting and bringing to the table. But your view is very pragmatic view. Policy as an enabler, not a crutch. Exactly how mature businesses should think about it. Thank you so much. So my next question is: since joining IceMake in November 2025, what has been the biggest learning curve for you personally?
Yeah, so one big learning that stands out very clearly is the frugal manufacturing capability of the company. That's a surprise, I would say, insight for me as well as the biggest learning because company has been able to set up the manufacturing lines in a frugal way, and that to ensuring the first time right quality products and getting the products acceptable to the markets is the, I think, biggest learning curve that I would say that this is one of the strengths that even the competition may not have such strengths.
Fantastic, Mr. Reddy. You are on a right path. I would say that humility to keep learning even after 3 decades is what keeps leaders relevant. Thank you so much. So my next question is on what part of the CEO's role do you find most energizing, and what part you still find most demanding?
Yeah, just put it in a simple way. I think the most important part of the role is the ability to make positive impact on the stakeholders. That element of the role keeps me energized all the time. So I think this role has the potential to make the great positive impact on the complete all the stakeholder systems on the company. So that's what keeps me energized. um, Demanding, we all have this problem, the time management, the prioritization. That's where I think most of the demands would come in, and you should be in a position to prioritize your time, etc.
That is an honest answer, Mr. Reddy. Leadership is as much about stamina as it is about energy, as it is about strategy and markets and the people and the whole ecosystem. Thank you so much for that answer. So we come to the conclusion of this series, and before we go for rapid fire round session, this is my last question. If you had to describe IceMake today in one word, what would it be, and what word would you like it to be known for in 3 years from now?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting question. Today I would rate IceMake to be good, and next 3 years it will be great. So good to great is the simple answer. So we want to go from good to great.
That's a powerful aspiration, I would say, for you and for IceMake as an organization. Thank you so much, Ms. Reddy. Now let's move to the rapid fire round, which is CEO's lens. I'm going to be asking you 5 rapid questions, which you need to uh, answer quickly. So, my first question on this rapid fire section is: one insight about IceMake that surprised you after joining.
I've said it already, the frugal manufacturing capability.
Number two, sir, execution, discipline, or growth velocity, which matters more in the next 24 months? Discipline or
My
growth?
answer is, yeah, my answer is executive discipline, basically execution discipline for the faster growth.
All right, sir. Is spoken like a true operator. All right. Speed without control really scales well. So, third is a common investor misunderstanding about refrigeration or cold chain business?
Yeah, most investors equate air conditioning with the refrigeration. I'd like to clarify to the investors that the refrigeration is a different animal altogether. It is much more deeper, much more challenging, much more customer centric compared to air conditioning. The market size of air conditioning is far larger compared to the refrigeration market size today. So this is generally the misconception people have between AC and refrigeration, though the science behind AC and refrigeration is the same.
All right. So that's an important myth to bust. This sector is far more strategic than it appears. Thank you. Fourth question, factory floor or boardroom? Where do you prefer spending more time?
It's a market.
That says a lot, sir. Culture is built closer to machines than to microphones and, in the markets. So that's great. Number fifth is what one habit you consciously brought into IceMake as CEO?
I take the liberty of answering this with the three habits. One is the strategic perspective, strategic thinking, thinking big. And second thing is a transformative mindset that I've always have. And third most important thing is the customer centricity.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy. Simple habits consistently practiced usually create this proportionate impact. So, closing the session now, Mr. Reddy, thank you for sharing your journey, insights, and leadership perspective with the VRIGHT Exchange community. It was wonderful having you on our show. IceMake's story clearly reflects vision anchored in execution, and we look forward to tracking how that translates into long term value creation. To our viewers, please follow IceMake on VRIGHT Exchange. Structured, transparent, and continuous engagement with the capital markets. Stay tuned as we continue bringing you credible leadership voices, structured dialogue, and discovery without noise. Only on Bright Exchange. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reddy. Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you, Mr. Rana, for having me. And thanks all the investor community to be participated on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.